Most people that I've been talking to this season have already written off the Arc 3.0 sets, and I completely understand, but I see that as a challenge. And in today's video, not only am I going to review the armor set, but I'm also going to be making my own fashion with the armor, hopefully showing you its potential. I've already done that with the Assassin's Creed collaboration armor, so if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out after this one. So let's start with the first question I always get whenever armor sets release. Will it be available for Bright Dust, and when will it be available? So I have really good news. You are going to be able to get these for Bright Dust, and you have plenty of time to save up your Bright Dust, even after potentially spending that Bright Dust on the Dawning event coming on Tuesday. So make sure to write this down somewhere or save this video so you can go back to it later. The gloves will be available January 10th. The leg armor will be available January 24th. The class items will be available January 31st. The chest pieces will be available February 14th. And the helmets will be available on February 21st. With that out of the way, which armor pieces should you get? Are these armor sets even worth it? Let's answer that next, starting with the Titan. And we're going to start by showing you all of my favorite shaders on this armor. But if you don't see your favorite shader and you wanted to see something on this armor that I didn't point out, go ahead and check out my other video showing off all of these shaders in my inventory on these armor sets. So my personal favorites to work with were Crucible Carmine, Dreaming Spectrum, Amethyst Veil, Dawning Tranquility, and Dusted Tome. Now for armor pairings, let's start off with the exotics I would recommend that you pair with this set that would still look good. The Antaeus wards, because they have the same kind of cracking on them. The no backup plans, specifically with the piezo electric ornament. Those kind of match the like rocky style on the chest and the legs. And for the same reason, I recommend the Icefall mantles, because with the right shader, you can kind of make everything look like an armor set built out of ice. Now, I hope that started to get the gears turning in your head a little bit on what you can do with this set. But now I want to recommend full-on armor sets that I would try out with this set, or at least to kind of kickstart you in the right direction. I would recommend the ornament set from the Season of the Lost called Meridian Constellation, the Survival of the Strong from the Guardian games, the Star-Crossed set from the Eververse store, and the Dragonfly Regalia also from the Eververse store. Okay, now that I got those gears turning, let's put it all together into some fashion, starting with Skitaro's Titan. I love what he did here with his Titan. He looks fast, he looks speedy, and aerodynamic. Same thing goes for the Titan from Techno Viking. Again, very thin, very aerodynamic looking. I think he himself said that this was like an Atlantean warrior, which makes a lot of sense. Lastly, we have this one from Oryx, giving me a strong thunder god type of feel. I think it's the combination of the Nemean mark and the Comet Stir and Dream ornament for the Curus of the Falling Star. Now, as for myself, I already said that I mainly like the helmet. The helmet is very aerodynamic and really cool looking, so I decided to build with that. I, of course, love chest plates with fur on them, so I started there. And then I went with the Meridian Constellation legs because it matched the chest plate, and more importantly, if you look at the mark on the Arc set, it does kind of have the same design as the Meridian Constellation chest plate and the legs. Lastly, I really did like the way my Titan started to look kind of like a Greek god or a Roman god or something like that. And I ended up going with the arms from the Fortnite set because of the pattern on the gauntlets. And that's how I got my Titan. So, do I recommend this set? I honestly don't. It is really hard to work with. There are some good pieces, so I do recommend that you hold a little bit of Bright Dust and you go for the helmet and the legs. Both of those are going to be the most useful for you moving forward. But either way, let me know what you think about my Titan in the comments down below, and if you have any more suggestions for armor that you could pair with this set, I'd also like to see that in the comments. Now let's talk about the Warlock. Now this set is a lot more fun to play with. So starting off with my favorite shaders to use with it: House of Mayrin, Dawning Tranquility, Seraphim Cloak, Rusted Iron, and Vitrified Chronology. Okay, so now let's go over some exotics that you can possibly pair with this set. Try out the Geomags with the Electromagnetic Stabilizers, the Sanguine Alchemy Robes, and the Crown of Tempest with the Crown Jewels ornament. As for the full sets that I would recommend that you try mixing and matching with this one, I would recommend both the Meridian Constellation and the Pathfinder set from the Season of the Lost, the Virtuous set from Season of the Dawn, and lastly the Painted Kitsune set, also known as the Fortnite set, which you can get at the Eververse store. Alright, now let's go ahead and put all of those armor sets together and show you actual fashion sets from my Discord. Starting with Psycho Kozak using the Valkyrie Zero shader to give us a very nice red color to contrast those very light blues from the Arc set. This next one is from NSFW Chaos, and I really like the way he actually made the Warlock Mohawk actually look good using the mobile exoskeleton robes. And I have another one from him as well, but this one I wanted to put in here because he and I had the same idea with using the Storm Dancer's cover with those Arclight robes. Let me show you. So for my Warlock, I decided to use the robes. I saw a lot of people using the helmet, so I decided to play around with those. I tested out a lot of shaders, and I really liked Rusted Iron because it was bright, there was some gold in there, and there was a really nice blue as well. Like NSFW Chaos, I also ended up really liking the Storm Dancer's cover. Instead of using that with the exotic it's supposed to, I feel like it looks a lot better combined with these Arc robes. And lastly, to close this all off, I ended up using the Starfarer's Bond to get a little bit more gold in there and to kind of give my Warlock more of a like Senate Counselor vibe. So what's the verdict on the Warlock set? Again, I can't really recommend it whenever it comes to spending silver on it, but if you want to wait to buy it with Bright Dust, I normally recommend for the Warlock sets to save up for the helmet and the robes. If I could recommend other pieces, I quite enjoy the Bond and the gloves as well. I feel like the gloves are a really nice pairing with other robes that have a whole lot of cloth, not a whole lot of armor though. Overall, not a terrible set, but also not a set that you should really be running to the Eververse store for. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the Hunter set now. So, starting off with the shaders that I enjoyed the most on it. The first one is Callus's Selected, which is just a great shader in general. Dawning Brilliance, which may or may not be back by the time you're seeing this video. Crucible Redjack, one of my all-time favorite Crucible shaders. Surprisingly, Silver Tactical looks really good on this, and Whispered Sheen looks fantastic on this armor. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, this armor is pretty unique and you don't really have a lot of armor pieces that really match with it too well, so I kind of struggled to find something for you guys. But if you want to try out some exotics with it, try out the Blight Ranger, Falcon, which basically works with everything, and Raiju's Harness, which also basically works with everything. So try those out. But as for actual armor sets that you can try out with this set, again, it's very difficult to find things that match with it, but I found success in the Solstice 2020 set, the Meridian Constellation set from Season of the Lost, the Resonant Fury armor from the Vow of the Disciple raid, and the Nemean set from the Eververse store. But I also am missing a whole lot of Eververse sets on my Hunter, so if you guys have any suggestions on other sets, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. So for this next part, I want to apologize because I mentioned everybody in my server twice. I looked throughout Reddit, I searched my Twitter, I was so desperate to find some fashion with this armor set that I even looked through Instagram. And to be completely honest with you, and I don't mean to offend anybody, I only saw one person using this armor set, and it wasn't that good looking, and I don't think it was the person using its fault. It just truly is a bad set, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was Bungie's least sold armor set, because I have seen nobody with it. So trust me, I'm not being lazy here, and I truly did search for like an hour to find something to show you guys, and I have nothing. At the very least, let me at least show you what I made with the armor set. So for my set, I was thinking maybe something like a thunder god or something Greek inspired. So of course I went to my crutch, Gerfalcon. And like I said before, I leaned on the Nemean set specifically because I know that the Nemean legs pair very well with the Gerfalcon. And from there I went to the Mistio set from the last video, and I used the cloak from it specifically because it did give me that like Greek god vibe. And then I applied Justified Cobalt, and that kind of gave me the coloring that I was looking for. Except for the arms, which were a little bit too dark, so instead I decided to use the Smudge Pot Bruise to kind of give me similar coloring to the rest of the set. And that's it. That's what I made with this set. I was thinking about making some more for you guys, but it would have been very disingenuous of me to continue to even play with this set. I wasn't having fun with it. I struggled every step of the way, and yeah, it's just not a good set. And if you're trying to buy something with Bright Dust from this set, I would really only go for the helmet. That's really the only piece that I liked and I can see myself using in the future. But of course, that is simply my opinion, and my opinion can be different than yours. So please sound off in the comments down below. Do you like the Hunter set, the Warlock set, the Titan set? What pieces of armor are you planning on getting from these three? And yeah, if you do have like a sick Hunter set that I may have missed, please show me in my Discord. There will be a link down below to that. Go ahead and join up and just post in my fashion channel. I check that daily. And as a quick recap, for the Titan, really only grab the helmet and the legs. For the Warlock, grab the helmet and the robes, possibly the gloves if you're into them. For the Hunter, can't really recommend much other than the helmet. And again, even that may be pushing it. And if you made it this far, consider leaving me a like on your way out, and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. And a great big thank you to my Patreon members. Without you, I really could not have made this video. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your continued support. As for everybody else, I do have another video coming out later today showing off all of the shaders on the new Dawning armor. So please go ahead and check that out later. And after that video, I will be doing one of these review videos on that Dawning armor. So yet another reason to be subscribed. In the meantime, go ahead and click on any of the videos popping up in your end card now. And as always, stay beautiful.